Do you need a probiotic, and are you sure a probiotic is the best option for your gut health? Hi, my name is Phil. I'm with Silver Fern brand. All right, so you've been told that you need a probiotic because you need good gut health. So the first reason most people take a probiotic is they've been told they needed one. A doctor told them, a social media influencer or a health expert with a blog or a podcast said, hey, you need probiotics because gut health is super important, take a probiotic. So the concept is you take a probiotic, it confers benefits to the gut. The gut is super important to the rest of the body, and that's the reason you take a probiotic, right? Right. So so let's just go through some of the standard suggested benefits of probiotics. Helps the immune system, helps with gut barrier, helps the gut barrier, helps with microbial balance. By the way, gut health probiotics can't say they clean up the gut. That breaks FDA guidelines. So they say it helps promote healthy microbial balance, I think is what they're allowed to say. Helps promote healthy inflammatory responses, and then it's going to have obviously help with occasional digestive discomforts, helps with the metabolism, cardiovascular health, helps with skin health, vaginal health, all of those things by a way of modulating the microbiome, helping the gut barrier, helping with inflammatory responses and immune function. That's the reason people take probiotics. A standard probiotic is a lactobacillus probiotic. That's what most people are taking. The contentious component of probiotics is, does it survive? And the answer is most do not survive. Most probiotics that are, I would argue, the most popular ones at least, have some form of a special coating or capsule or something to ensure that they survive digestion, to basically make sure they get past the stomach and acidity so that they get in the intestinal system and they can thrive. I think that's fair, right? And then in addition to that, most of these probiotics that do not have those benefits, I would argue they die. The large majority of them die. That being said, it's a lie to say that dead probiotics do not confer a benefit, because they do. They're called postbiotics. Many postbiotics are dead bacteria that confer a benefit to the host. These are all true statements, okay? But this is kind of how the probiotic world works, is you're trying to take a probiotic to improve your gut health. So here I'm going to throw a little bit of a wrench. I'm going to throw you a curveball real quick. I am not promoting these products today. I'm just using these as examples. So if the intention of a probiotic is to significantly improve the microbiome, the gut barrier, healthy inflammatory responses, immune function, and confer benefits, I would argue that these two prebiotics, sensitive gut fiber and targeted prebiotic, are going to win. Sensitive gut fiber, it is not a probiotic. You do not have to worry about survivability. Targeted prebiotic, it is not a probiotic. It is a prebiotic. You do not have to worry about survivability. Two clinically studied ingredients, significantly, by the way, in the clinical research studies, so let's just cover some of the specifics. As examples, I'm not promoting these products. So Solnul in the sensitive gut fiber, once again, these are two FODMAP-friendly, certified FODMAP-friendly prebiotics, so digestive friendly for people that have range from SIBO and IBS to whatever else. So Solnul significantly increases bifidobacterium by up to 350% in broad species, not a few selective strains, but broad bifidobacterium increases up to 350%. Increases broad Akkermansia increase up to 250%. Clinical research studies supports up to a 66% improvement in constipation. That's 2 scoops, by the way, for the constipation. Up to a 59% improvement in diarrhea. Has clinical research studies for helping the gut barrier, healthy inflammatory responses, the immune system, helping with insulin sensitivity by way of helping with free fatty acid levels. It helps with collagen retention. It helps with collagen utilization, so skin health, cognitive function. And then there's the Inavia, Prevotella, Christicella, F. prausnitzii. So is this a really good prebiotic that I could very easily argue has more benefits than a standard lactobacillus bifidobacterium probiotic that is surviving? The answer is yeah, because it's going broad spectrum. Targeted prebiotic, very similar. The apophenol increases Akkermansia and broad range Akkermansia by up to 700%, your production. The Prevotella improves your microbial balance significantly in as early as 30 days. You've got the Microbiome X, butyrate production. Between all of them, you've got metabolic benefits, skin benefits, cholesterol benefits, clinical studied. 3 clinically studied ingredients at the clinical doses. So this actually may be a better option based upon what most people are wanting to do with their microbiome than a standard probiotic. And a lot of people will say, well, probiotics help decrease the, work with me here, decrease the bad things and increase the good things. Inavia decreases the bad things, increases the good things. Pretix in this decreases the bad things, increases the good things. Same concept, okay? So when we look at a probiotic from our perspective, if a person is going to take a probiotic for broad spectrum digestive benefit, we take a completely different approach at Silver Fern. We are not trying to say that all or even any lactobacillus bifidobacterium probiotic is bad. I'm not saying that. We just decided to take a completely different approach because I can argue in many instances that a prebiotic is better than a standard probiotic, and I've got the research to support it, okay? So we launched Ultimate Probiotic. This is not a lactobacillus bifidobacterium probiotic. So let me give you a concept. Well, let me explain the strains first. Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus coagulans, Bacillus clausii, Espellardi. This is a yeast. It manages the yeast, the balance of yeast in your microbiome. By the way, most probiotics are only dealing with bacteria. You really ought to be managing yeast too. Yeast also can offer benefits in balance. Just like with bacteria, there's good yeast and there's bad yeast. Just so you're aware, it's not all bad. There's this thing like, oh, yeast is candida. And you're like, no, there is actually good yeast as well. Just so we have Espellardi and Pediococcus acidilacti in this. So here's the concept approach, okay? So imagine I'm going to use an analogy. Forgive me if you don't like the analogy. This is what I work with here. So I'm a football coach, right? So I coach football. A good coach of a football team is not trying to increase the amount of players on the sideline. That's not what I want. I don't want an entire sideline full of dozens and dozens and dozens of players. A company doesn't want that either. A really good, well-managed company doesn't have thousands of employees just standing around. A good company or a good football team, baseball team, basketball team, hockey team, whatever you want to work with there, they have key players in key positions that are effective. If you're on a football field, you have to have a quarterback, you have to have a running back, you have to have linemen, you want a tight end, you want receivers. On defense, you have a defensive line, linebackers, inside, outside linebackers, cornerback, safeties. You want a full and balanced football team. And just having one hero on the football team is not a good way to have a football team. So just because you have an amazing quarterback doesn't mean you have a good football team. If you have a shitty line up front, not blocking the quarterback and the running back, you are going to lose, period, okay? The gut is the same way. So Ultimate Probiotic, the concept behind it is to have a coaching staff coaching and managing the microbiome to make it effective and do what it's supposed to do. You're not just overrunning it with players, so to speak, okay? So do the bacillus strains, for example, an Ultimate Probiotic absolutely have clinical research studies for the gut barrier, for microbial balance, which are the things I'm allowed to say, by the way. Healthy inflammatory responses and healthy immune function, absolutely. In fact, these strains are shown to help train the immune system to be tolerant, which is really important for somebody that has hyperreactive immune system issues, okay? So this would be a good probiotic for the long term after a person got their immune system dialed in, different video. This would be a good probiotic to continue to maintain training of your immune system, your microbiome, and so forth. The Espellardi manages yeast, but it's also amazing at managing bacteria, and all of these increase enzymes for helping occasional digestive comfort. So it's a good probiotic, a completely different approach. I would argue if you are going to take a probiotic, know why you're taking it, know what you're taking it for and what the objective is. And in my opinion, which I obviously feel strongly about, the coaching approach of coaching the microbiome to work effectively and within balance and diversity, and I'm not trying to say diversity to be current with social trends. I'm saying a healthy microbiome has a wide diversity of beneficial organisms in balance. Having all stars that dominate is also an imbalance in the microbiome, just so you're aware. So that is why I would suggest that taking Ultimate Probiotic would be possibly a effective option over a standard lactobacillus and bifidobacterium probiotic. Hope this helps. That was a lot. Sorry. Bye.